In the far reaches of the galaxy, the Galactic Council was a bastion of peace and diplomacy. For millennia, species from countless star systems coexisted in a delicate balance, driven by mutual understanding and cooperation. The council was composed of representatives from species that hailed from worlds with fierce predators, evolved weaponry, and technology beyond the imagination. However, nothing prepared them for the arrival of the humans. It began with the first report, a brief, almost dismissive dispatch from an outpost near the Terran system, a planet called Earth, housing a newly spacefaring species known as humans, had made contact. The report detailed their primitive technology, low population density, and frail physical forms. Yet, buried in the report were peculiar findings, resilience to hostile environments, an unusual tolerance for injury, and a peculiar trait that baffled researchers. Humans, despite all odds, always seemed to survive. Initially, the Galactic Council laughed it off. The larger and stronger species, Chlorathians with their dense, armored hides, the Shilani with their telepathic abilities, scoffed at the idea that these small, seemingly unremarkable bibs could pose any threat. But when an alliance fleet went missing near Earth, the galaxy began to pay attention. The Chlorathian warlord, General Thraxon, a seasoned veteran known for his ruthless efficiency, decided to investigate the missing fleet personally. His flagship, bristling with weapons and protected by immense shields, entered Earth's orbit, ready to engage these upstart humans. Prepared to subjugate the natives, Thraxon commanded, his voice echoing through the ship. His soldiers, towering and imposing, prepared for what they believed would be a quick and easy victory. As they descended, they were met not by advanced weaponry or towering fortresses, but by a determined resistance made up of soldiers, civilians, and machines cobbled together with creativity and grit. The humans fought back with everything they had: primitive firearms, clever traps, and tactics that defied the expectations of the galaxy's most fearsome warlords. General Thraxon, despite his overwhelming technological advantage, was perplexed by the humans' resilience. His troops were falling, not to superior weaponry or brute force, but to something else entirely. He watched, horrified, as his elite soldiers, one trained for decades in the art of war, were brought down by guerrilla tactics, improvised explosives, and sheer human tenacity. "How are they doing this?" he growled, slamming his fist onto the command console. His officers were just as baffled. "They are weak," one said. "They should have surrendered." "They are fragile," another added. "Their bones break easily. Their muscles are weak compared to ours." But none of that mattered. Despite their fragility, despite their apparent weakness, the humans didn't stop. They kept fighting, kept adapting, kept coming up with new ways to turn the tide. Thraxon soon learned that humans, pound for pound, were the deadliest species in the galaxy, not because of their strength or their technology, but because of their unyielding spirit. They fought not with fear or hesitation, but with a savage determination to survive. And then came the final stealth tactic that made the entire galaxy tremble. Human ingenuity extended beyond the battlefield. Their scientists quickly reverse-engineered alien technology, repurposing it in ways the original creators had never imagined. Their fighter ships became faster, their energy weapons more efficient, and their understanding of tactics evolved rapidly. The turning point came when a human ship, barely larger than a shuttle, managed to infiltrate Thraxon's flagship. The crew, a mix of scrappy engineers, soldiers, and scientists, hacked into the warship systems, disabling its shields and rendering it vulnerable. It was an unprecedented victory. As the flagship exploded in a brilliant flash above Earth, the galaxy realized that these humans were not to be underestimated. In that moment, they learned that when pushed to the brink, humans were capable of fates that defied the natural order of things. The Galactic Council convened once more, this time with an air of caution. Gone were the dismissive tones and scoffs. The representative from Earth, a calm and composed diplomat, walked into the council chamber and embraced the assembly. "Humans," he said with a smile, "may not be the strongest or the fastest. We may not have evolved with claws or armored hides, but we adapt, we persevere, and when threatened, we will fight with everything we have." The room was silent, every species present reconsidering their perception of these small, fragile beings. And that, the human continued, is why we survived. From that day on, the galaxy understood one simple truth, pound for pound. Humans were the deadliest species in the galaxy, not because of their physical prowess, but because of their sheer will to survive and their capacity to turn even the bleakest situation into a victory. And so, tales of human valor and ferocity spread across the stars, becoming legendary. No longer were humans seen as a backwater species on a forgotten planet. They were feared, respected, and, in some cases, even admired. The galaxy would never be the same again. The Galactic Council's decision to officially recognize humans as a sovereign and formidable force rippled throughout the galaxy. While some species cautiously approached Earth for alliances, others were less shrewd, old powers, used to dominating through strength, saw humanity's rise as a threat. They began plotting, secretly scheming to put these upstarts back in their place. However, humans had an uncanny ability to perceive threats before they fully manifested, an instinct honed through millennia of survival on a planet rife with predators, natural disasters, and each other. Earth's leaders knew that it was only a matter of time before they would face greater challenges than just fending off a warlord like Thraxon, and they weren't about to sit idly by and wait. Humanity pushed forward, reaching for the stars with relentless ambition. Colonization ships departed from Earth in waves, each one carrying eager settlers, scientists, and soldiers to distant, unexplored regions of the galaxy. Their mission to claim the unyielding frontier and establish humanity's place in the stars. One such colony ship, Endeavor, embarked on a particularly perilous journey. It was destined for a remote system, being known Council territory, a star system filled with planets that had never been surveyed or explored. The crew, a mix of seasoned veterans and wide-eyed newcomers, was ready for whatever awaited them. Captain Amina Carter, a hardened veteran of the Earth's Defense Force, stood on the bridge of the Endeavor, her eyes fixed on the shimmering expanse of space before her. She'd seen the worst the galaxy had to offer and wasn't about to let her guard down now. Her crew trusted her implicitly, for they knew that under her command, they had survived impossible odds more than once. Entering the Theron system in 3, 2, 1, the ship's navigator, a young officer named Lieutenant Diaz, called out. The star system unfolded before them. It was beautiful, but ominous. A red giant dominated the center, casting long shadows across the planets orbiting it. The Endeavor's senses immediately picked up signs of strange anomalies, gravity distortions, and electromagnetic interference from the star's unstable core. Scans, Captain Carter asked. Atmospheres are breathable on 2 of the planets, Diaz replied, tapping away at his console. But on detecting unusual energy signatures on one of them. Could be natural, but it's odd. Odd how? Carter narrowed her eyes. Hard to say, Captain. It doesn't match any known phenomenon in the database. Carter's instincts flared. Something wasn't right. Set a course for the anomaly, she ordered. Let's take a closer look. As the Endeavor descended toward the planet, the view on the main screen revealed an eerie landscape jagged. Obsidian mountains, vast plains of dark rock, and an atmosphere tinged with a faint purple hue. It looked hostile, but that didn't deter the crew. They had seen stranger things, and humans were nothing if not adaptable. Upon landing, Captain Carter led an exploration team onto the surface. Their advanced suits filtered out the atmospheric toxins, while their scanners swept the area for potential threats. The energy signature was close, and the deeper they ventured into the alien landscape, the more bizarre things became. Captain, Sergeant Mason, the team's security lead, called out. I'm picking up traces of structures artificial, but ancient. There is something down there. Understood, Carter responded. Proceed with caution. The team approached what appeared to be the remnants of an alien city, half buried beneath the planet's surface, massive, weathered spars jutted out from the ground, and strange, indecipherable symbols adorned the stone-like material. It was clear this place had been abandoned for thousands, if not millions, of years. But that wasn't what concerned Carter the most. It was the feeling, a sensation deep in her bones that they were being watched. "Hold position," she ordered. "Keep your weapons ready." Suddenly, the ground beneath them rumbled, and a deep, reverberating hum filled the air. The energy signature they had been tracking spiked, and something activated within the ruins. A glowing light, intense and blinding, shot out from the center of the ancient city, and a massive structure began to rise from the ground. "It's a power source of some kind," Diaz shouted, his scanner buzzing wildly. "I've never seen anything like this." Carter's mind raced. If this was what she thought it was, an ancient relic of a long-lost civilization, it could either be humanity's greatest discovery or its doom. Before she could make a decision, an alien voice echoed through the air, speaking in a language that none of their translators could decipher. The structure continued to rise, revealing an immense, otherworldly machine with mechanisms that defied understanding. And then, without warning, they appeared. Phantom-like beings materialized around the Timo, slender figures made of translucent energy. They moved with unnatural grace, their forms flickering in and out of existence. They had no physical weapons, yet Carter could feel their immense power. The team's weapons were raised, but Carter held up her hand, motioning for them to wait. "Identify yourselves," she called out, her voice firm but cautious. The beings didn't respond, at least not in words. Instead, a single entity floated forward, its form shimmering. Carter felt something brush against her mind, a telepathic presence, probing gently, as if seeking something. And then, she understood. The beings weren't hostile, but ancient sentinels, protectors of this lost world. They had been waiting for something, or someone, worthy to unlock the secrets of their civilization. For the first time, the humans were not seen as invaders or conquerors, but as equals. The being before Carter bowed his head, and a flood of images rushed into her mind, visions of a galaxy-spanning empire that had fallen to ruin long before humanity ever walked the earth, and the knowledge it left behind. Carter lowered her weapon and took a step forward. "We're here to learn," she said softly. The phantom-like sentinel nodded, and the massive structure began to hum once more. Its power now fully activated, the humans had proven themselves, not through strength or violence, but through their capacity for understanding, and in doing so, they had unlocked the key to the galaxy's greatest mysteries.